Hello, and welcome to this special edition of High Spirits with me, your host, Edwin Courtenay. This is a special Halloween edition of our usual YouTube channel. Before I carry on, I'm going to get rid of the hat. I don't know if this is why so many witches perished on their brooms, but look at it. I can barely see a thing. Right, that's better. I wanted to bring forward a special little episode focused on the season, the event, the celebration of Halloween. I'm sure many of you know exactly what Halloween is all about, but for those of you who don't, or even for those of you who do but might want to see things from my particular perspective, I'm going to talk a little bit about it. We're going to do a little bit of magic together in enchanting a pumpkin ready for the evening. And we're going to talk a little bit about why we might want to do that. And then I'm going to round things up with a little channeling, a little message from the Spirit to see you into the beginning of the new year. All will become clear in just a moment or two. So Halloween, which pagans call Samhain. I am a pagan, by the way. I began my magical path as a Wiccan, a solitary practitioner, and then I segued into the realms of the cunning folk, which fits more comfortably with the type of magical and spiritual work that I do, which is incorporating work with angels and saints or ascended masters, as well as the gods and elementals and spirits. So pagan folk, like myself, know Halloween by another name, and that is Samhain. It's actually spelt Samhain, but pronounced Samhain or Samhain, depending upon what part of the country you come from, really. It is a Celtic festival, a festival of the dead, which celebrates the spirits of those that have gone before, the spirits of our ancestors, the dearly departed, but also friends, loved ones, people that you know who have passed into the spiritual world, not just your blood relatives. It's also a time where the veil, the dimensional barrier between our physical plane and the spiritual planes, the spiritual dimensions, is at its thinnest. So the dimensional membrane that separates our physical reality from the astral world, from the spirit world, the realm of the dead, from the future and the past, is thin. And it's thin because Samhain marks the ending of the old year, the energetic year. Now, of course, with the adoption of the modern calendar, we, in general, as a globe, tend to celebrate New Year's Eve on at the end of December and the beginning of the new year on the 1st of January. But in ancient times, different cultures celebrated the new year at different times, and indeed, some cultures still do celebrate the new year at different times. And pagans celebrate the ending of the old year, the old energetic cycle of the year, on October the 31st, and celebrate the beginning of the new energetic cycle of the year on the 1st of November. So because of this, because the energy of the old year is receding and the energy of the new year is pushing forwards, it creates a friction and a wearing down of the dimensional membrane. If you imagine that the energy of the old year is pulling back and the energy of the new year is pushing forward, and this barrier that separates time as well as dimension, as a result of this push and pull, becomes strained and thin. And on Halloween night, throughout the entire day actually, the veil almost completely falls away, enabling our physical dimension to share space in a much more close vibrational way with those other dimensions which interpenetrate our own. The thing of the veil is something that happens all the way up to Halloween. So usually within the last month before that energetic shift, so the month of October, the veil is becoming thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner. And some sensitives and mediums become aware of this in one way or another. Their dreams might become more vivid, their meditational experiences might be more intense, their clairvoyant experiences, their channeling experiences, all of them might become more heightened. Some people don't notice anything at all. I, as a clairvoyant, have always been very, very aware of the thinning of the veil, always seen a lot more ambiently during the month of October, and it becomes more and more intense towards October the 31st. And usually on the 31st, it's really difficult for me to block out anything, any presence that's in the environment. I can see them whether I'm consciously open or not, because they are so close to the physical dimension in which we are residing. So sensitives will often, during this time, during this month, endeavor to shield themselves a little bit more, to protect themselves a little bit more, to ground themselves, to reset their chakras, just to try and gain a bit more control over what they are experiencing in their environment. And on Halloween Day itself, it's really particularly important, if you are sensitive, to focus on doing those things. Now, on Halloween Day and night, when the veil is at its very thinnest, we are very close to all manner of presence and entity. Guides and guardian angels and ascended masters and gods and goddesses and elementals and the elements of the local land, to our dearly departed friends in spirit, but also to negative energies and entities, to psychical and spiritual parasites that might be drawn to our light, particularly if we're conducting some kind of Halloween ritual. And so it's really important to protect ourselves from these negative energies and entities that might be inadvertently drawn to our light, look upon us as a lovely Halloween snack of energy that they want to feast on. It's important that we keep them at bay. And of course, we can use our ordinary protections. We can call upon protective presences like the Archangel Michael. We can use our visualization. We can wear our talismans and amulets and our crystals. We can do all of that. But one of the things that many people will indulge in without really knowing why necessarily is the carving of a pumpkin. Just for full disclosure, this is a plastic pumpkin. I'm not going to carve it. I have got a real pumpkin downstairs waiting to be carved, but it's quite heavy. So this is a nice, easy one for demonstration purposes. So we would carve our pumpkin and set it in the window with a candle inside it. Back in the day, when I was a young boy, it was a turnip or a swede that we put in the window. And it's called a jack-o'-lantern or a pumpkin or a turnip or a swede. And it's a kind of gargoyle. It's used to scare away any negative entities or forces that might be drawn to your home. That was its original function and purpose. These days, I think people don't necessarily clock that that's the case. Some people say if you've got a pumpkin lit in your window, it means that you're fair game for a trick or treat experience, but that's absolutely not at all what its original purpose was. So every year, Andrew, that's my partner, and I, we will carve our pumpkin and then we will enchant it. We will set it to purpose and function. And I use a spell from this wonderful book, The Crone's Book of Words by Valerie Worth. You can see this is a well-thumbed copy. I love, love, love this book. It's one of the first verbal magic spell books I encountered. And in it, under the chapter called The Conjurer, there is this beautiful Halloween poem and this beautiful Halloween spell. I think the book is still available from Amazon if you're interested, and I would heartily recommend you get it, because it's a beautiful book of magical poetry, but it's got some really interesting and fantastic spells, some really weird spells that you would never ever use, but some absolutely fantastic spells as well. So it says, All Hallows Eve. When the white dog is out and trots all about under the clouds that are over the moon, and the hag with her broom rides high on the wind, and the cat on the fence spits even at friends, then it is right to conjure a light against every spirit that shadows the night. Thus say, let the pumpkin's candle glare into darkness everywhere. Burn all evil from the air. When it is dark and the black trees roar, set jack-o'-lantern to watch by the door. So this is the spell that Andrew and I will chant, the middle part of this passage, over our pumpkin, our jack-o'-lantern. And that's what first thing we're going to do before I talk a little bit more about other things that you can do on Halloween night and before we go into our channeling. So you would get your pumpkin. I'm just going to add a little atmosphere to this in a moment, and we would hold it or hover our hand over it whilst we chant our spell. So go grab a pumpkin, place your hands over it or hold it in your hands, and we'll say this together. And close your eyes and just visualize energy flowing from you into the pumpkin, and the pumpkin blazing into the night, like a kind of ferocious gargoyle, scaring away all negative forces and thoughts. Okay, hold your pumpkin. Here we go. Let the pumpkin's candle glare into darkness everywhere. Burn all evil from the air. Let the pumpkin's candle glare into darkness everywhere. Burn all evil from the air. Let the pumpkin's candle glare into darkness everywhere. Burn all evil from the air. Let the pumpkin's candle glare into darkness everywhere. Burn all evil from the air. Let the pumpkin's candle glare into darkness everywhere. Burn all evil from the air. Let the pumpkin's candle glare into darkness everywhere. Burn all evil from the air. So, other things that we can do on Halloween night would be to make a plate for the beloved dead. So when you have your meal, you set an extra space at the table, and you put onto that space a plate, and on the plate a little bit of food from everybody's plate who's eating around the table that night. And then you would take that plate afterwards and you would place it on your doorstep. And this is a plate for the dead. Now, the dead aren't going to pop round and have a nibble on your Freibentos meat pie, but what they are going to do is they're going to take the energy of that offering, of that intent, and consume it. And they're going to look upon this fondly and favourably, that you are remembering them and incorporating them into this special celebration. And also other benign, positive spiritual forces, local elementals and as such, will take the energy of the offering too, and may even convey a blessing upon you and yours that night as well. Because the veil is thin on Halloween night, it's a powerful moment to reach out to spirit, whether that be your guide or your guardian angel or your patron master or archangel, or whether it be reaching out to see if there are any ancestors or friends who've passed into spirit who've come a calling to say hello. So it's the perfect time to meditate, and it's the perfect time also to do any kind of divination practice, because the veil between the past and the future is very thin, so we can catch glimpses of the past, retrocognition, and glimpses of the future, precognition too. So you might do readings for each other on Halloween night. You might gaze into a hearth fire and see what images you can see there. You might do some tarot for yourself or some runes or what have you. And you might be surprised at the accuracy of the information that you get. So it's really important to record it or to note it down so that you can refer to it a little bit later on. Any of the Sabbats or Esbats, any of the solstices are also powerful moments for doing magic, and Halloween night, once again, when the veil is thin, is a really powerful time for doing any kind of magical manifestation. So it's a perfect time to do that type of thing too. Now, as I mentioned, the energy of the old year is fading away, and the energy of the new year is on the doorstep, waiting to rush in on the 1st of November. And of course, then it steadily builds and grows, and it really anchors on the 1st of January, when the collective consciousness catches up, really, with the wise, and acknowledges that it's the new year. So from the 1st of November onwards, the energy of the new year is building and anchoring and setting into place. We are moving into a 9 year, which will be presided over by a lady ascended master called Lady Portia, who she has a soulmate called Saint Germain, who some of you will be very familiar with. She has had various previous incarnations. She was Lady Tassia in ancient Atlantis, a priestess and channel, high priestess of the Eye Tower. She was Martha, the sister of Mary Magdalene. She was Morgan Le Fay, the high priestess of Avalon. And she was also a famous Victorian medium called Cora, second name eludes me. But you can always shoot me a message if you want to know who she was, and I can provide you with some details about that. It's a newish past life on me, this Victorian mediumship lifetime, but you can find details about it online when you've got the right name, that is. So we're going to hear from Lady Portia, who's going to talk to us a little bit about the energy of the year that is to come, to prepare us a little as that energy begins to build as we move now from November into January 2025. Okay, it'll just take me a moment. I shall close my eyes and we'll see what she's got to say. The energy, the theme of the year that is to come is one of justice, completion, and empowerment. Justice is harmony. It is balance. It is healing. It is a process whereby peace is found, righteousness is established, healing is created through the making of amends for previous imbalances that have occurred. It is a restoration of equilibrium. It is the paying of tolls, but also the making of promises. It is the ending of an old cycle of confrontation and illness, and the beginning of a new cycle of health and harmony, of positivity, of resolution and truth. Next year, globally, restoration, balance, harmony, and justice will be key throughout your world. And manifestations will occur, driven by the will and hearts of men and women, to bring this into being. And of course, some of you will, in your own way, be part of this manifestation too. It is also a time of completion in other areas also, not only politically, but also religiously, environmentally, ecologically, and scientifically, and also in regards to you yourselves as well. It will be the perfect time for you to lay to rest those things that now are ended. Relationships, careers, paths that you have pursued, which no longer bring you happiness or joy. A time to move home and find new homes, a time to begin something new by ending that which you know now needs to be released and laid to rest. This will be challenging for some. Challenge is part of the power that I preside over. It is not always easy to recognize when something is finished. It is not always easy to find the courage to let something go. But I can help you here. The power of my ray, the power of my flame, the silver violet flame, can help you to release these things. There is also a simple charm that you can use when trying to grease the karmic wheels, the spiritual, mental, and emotional process of letting go and embracing the great unknown. And it is this: the time has come, rest in peace, I let you go and embrace the new. The time has come, rest in peace, I let you go and I embrace the new. The time has come, rest in peace, I let you go and I embrace the new. Focus on those things that you either know or are unsure of, but suspect need to be ended. Think of me and use this chant, and release and relax and trust. 2025 is also a time of empowerment. It is particularly a time of divine feminine empowerment, of embracing the way of the goddess and her will, the way of unconditional love, the acknowledgement of the supreme power of natural law and nature, belief and faith in the power of magic and in the power of your own divinity as sovereign, as aspect of the divine on earth, as embryo waiting to become self-realized. 2025 will be, for some, a time of ascension, of rising into your potential, of remembering who you have been and integrating that with who you are now, reclaiming your sight, your healing power, your capacity to manifest, your magic. It will be a time of returning to your center, returning to yourself, and daring to be truly who and what in earnest you have always been, but maybe were too afraid to be seen as. Once again, my ray, my flame, my presence can help you here too, to empower you in the goddess's name, to help you feel the blessing of the love of the Mother Divine, to help you to release all anxious thought, all fear and negative emotion that is blocking and preventing you from drawing closer to the center of your power and being your true, authentic, integral self. Mine is the way of challenge, whether this be in regards to karma, or whether this be in regards to self-empowerment or completion and release. I am known sometimes as the challenger on the way, who stands to test and try those who would approach the crossroads to see if they are ready to walk on to pastures new. This challenge will be issued to the planet as well as to each and every individual on it. 2025 will be a testing and trying time, but it will also be an opportunity for growth, empowerment, ascension, right action, justice, and truth. And I have faith in humanity, and I have faith in you, that you will play your part, that you will do your best for yourself and all others, that you will contribute to the positive rising of your planet, so that, like the phoenix, from the doom of its own ashes, your world may rise and become something glorious and new. Remember to call upon my name and presence. Remember, as patroness of 2025, I am here to aid you all in regards to all challenges, global and domestic. Call upon my name, and I will come and do all within my power to aid you. Let us then begin, hand in hand, arm in arm, heart in heart, mind in mind, body and spirit co-joined together as one. I am with you. I am by your side as we embrace this new year together as one. In the Goddess's name, let this be so. So mote it be. Amen. You can find out lots more about Lady Portia online, and it's very probable next year that I will be doing more work with her. But we also have a couple of channeled evenings coming up where she'll be telling us more about her presence and the new year, and these are called Tea with Lady P, 2 channeled evenings. You can find more details on the website. There's one more special to come this year from High Spirits, and that will be close to Christmas time, so keep your eyes and ears out for that. In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this special. I hope you've enjoyed the High Spirits that have gone before. More to come next year. If you haven't already, please do click and subscribe. And if you'd like to find out more about me and my work, then please go to my website, edwincourtenay.co.uk, where you can find out all about our up-and-coming bits and pieces. But there's also lots and lots of great free stuff on there as well, from license-free music that's been composed by my partner to free meditations that we've created, and also free recordings of our bi-monthly free Sunday services. So lots and lots of things to feast on there too. Thank you so much for listening. Have a wonderful, wonderful Halloween, Samhain, and enjoy the energy and the excitement of beginning a brand new cycle, a brand new year on November the 1st. Take care, stay safe and well, and bright, blessed be.